Gotta admit, 100%, I was wrong on this one. Okay, I thought that he'd weather the storm on this one. I thought Andrew Cuomo would just steadfast stand against the wave of incoming criticism and then just hold it down like a champ, win re-election, fucking move on. But no, today he came out and said, effective 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna be leaving the governor's mansion. Just give me some time to fucking pack up my shit from the fucking place and I'll be out of here. Don't worry about it. I understand why he's doing it. It's more of a strategic move. He's still defiant in the face of all these allegations, mostly because we've seen the allegations. The reports are out there. They range from an inappropriate hand, apparently somebody felt after the fact, on the small of somebody's back, to, hey, you look awfully beautiful today. Those are in there as well. And from 11 different women, there's nothing that's like he pinned me down and he penetrated me. There's nothing that far. And the Attorney General, Alita James of New York, says that, oh yes, he broke all of these laws. Didn't charge him with anything, but it's getting referred up to the prosecutor's office. So I'd imagine that probably had something to do with it. But again, this is a perfect example of Democrats valuing the narrative over the facts. I can see this as being a very strategic move. So let's get some of the facts out of the way before we get into any of the speculation, okay? New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announces resignation over harassment allegations. Again, yeah, sexual harassment. Okay. It's like, well, what did he actually do? Well, a whole bunch of shit that you've probably done with somebody who you flirted with before. So, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, a Democrat, you don't say, announced Tuesday he will resign effective in 14 days after allegations of sexual harassment that were detailed in the state's Attorney General's report last week. Cuomo's resignation came as the New York Assembly started deliberations Monday on an impeachment inquiry into his conduct, and as top Democrat officials, including President Joe Biden, called on him to resign. Not really. We kind of parse that out as well. He said, oh yeah, I said that he should beforehand, and because the nice lady down there in the red dress with the CNN sticker on her lapel asked me if I still stand behind that, I said, yeah, but he is a really good guy. We'll have more on Joe Biden's retarded statements after this because, once again, well, grass is green, the sky is blue. It's a day that ends in Y, and Joe Biden made another stupid fucking comment, but more on that in a moment. The best way I can help now is if I step aside and let the government get back to government. Okay, Cuomo said in a televised speech after announcing his resignation. Cuomo said that he did not intentionally show disrespect toward any female staffers or women, asserting that his claims against him were politically motivated. An impeachment, however, would thrust New York into a state of turmoil for months, and the three-term governor said, explaining that's why he's resigning. Yeah, because he's up again in 2022. He didn't formally announce if he was going to be seeking a third or a fourth term, I guess that would have been. But much like his father, he just kind of goes out with a whimper at the end of his third term. And this was all 100% politically motivated. He says that, yeah, the accusations are politically motivated. I don't necessarily buy that. I just think that they're weak on the face of it. But him stepping down at this time, something in the back room's cooking. And I shudder to think what's going to be happening in about 2 weeks' time. But we'll get to that bridge when we need to cross it. Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul, whatever, a 62-year-old Democrat and former member of the Congress, will become the state's 57th governor and the first woman to head New York State. How stunning and brave. It's kind of like how the first female president is going to be appointed. It is a matter of life and death. Government operations and wasting energy on distractions is the last thing government should be. Wow, that's quite an about face. And over the course of just a couple of days, when he was going to be defiant in the face of all these allegations, I'm not leaving. And then all of a sudden, the cards start to fall on the other side of him, like a bunch of his top aides, who we'll also get to in a moment, start kind of shifting away from him. At least in the spotlight, but behind the scenes, they're totally still behind him on this. He got cut a sweet deal. That's just my gut feeling on this. I don't have anything to back that up. I just think that, yeah, somebody got his ear. All this stuff will be going away. You'll be able to just be remembered as the guy who wrote the leadership book at the outset of the pandemic. And everything that came out after that, we won't be looking at any of your nursing home or long-term care facility deaths. Don't worry, all of that's going to be going away because there are many other dominoes that would have fell in that specific situation, if anybody did do any further digging into that. And you're an older gentleman. You should be able to enjoy the final years of your relative good health. You should be able to enjoy the twilight of your life. That's just my opinion. But he continued with his statement, I cannot be the cause. New York tough means New York loving. And I love New York and I love you. Just a little bit more than what you're comfortable with. Everything I have ever done has been motivated by that love, and I would never want to be unhelpful in any way. So you're taking that love whether you want to or not. It's because he's Italian, right? And speaking to his 3 daughters, Cuomo told them, I want them to know from the bottom of my heart, if I ever did, and I never would intentionally disrespect a woman, treat any woman differently than I would want them treated, and that's the God's honest truth. Otherwise, yeah, he'd go like Sonny Corleone upside somebody's head if they disrespect one of his daughters or one of his sisters in the same fashion that Talia Shire was in The Godfather. But yeah, there were some hot takes coming off the back of this, and of course Biden had something stupid to say. Cuomo did hell of a job as governor. Biden says in shock remark after resignation over sexual harassment claims. Yeah, he's really one of a kind. President Biden on Tuesday gave a stunning appraisal of Governor Andrew Cuomo's performance, saying he did a hell of a job immediately following his resignation of sexually harassing subordinates. He was just a little critical of his targets at the time. He's seen that they were, like 25 and 30 years old. Yeah, they were at least 2 to 3 decades, a little too old for Joe. But outside of that, yeah, he was really on the right path, doing a hell of a job. Biden lauded Cuomo, who leaves the office in 14 days, despite the fact that Cuomo is under investigation by at least 4 New York district attorneys. Yeah, those are all going to be going away very shortly. For assault and the fact that he's under federal investigation for an admitted cover-up of COVID-19 death data at New York nursing homes. Well, he's done a hell of a job. He's done a hell of a job. Oh my God, he's just a doddering old fool. And I mean both on everything from access to voting to infrastructure. Oh my God. Well, I guess if you just go ahead and shift the lens in which you're going to be appraising the job that he did as governor, well, that's totally your prerogative, you old fucking hair plug bespeckled old man. Let's go over this one more time. And I mean both on everything from access to voting to infrastructure. New York City is a fucking hellhole, and I can't speak about the rest of the state, but I know it's been in a serious state of decline for about the past decade. So saying that he's done a great job with infrastructure leaves me scratching my head. To a whole range of things. Can't name them though, but he's done great, I'm sure. That's why it's so sad. Yeah, you're supposed to be Joe Believe All Biden, or Believe All Women Biden, right? Unless, of course, they're also Tara Reade. The president did not express sympathy for Cuomo's victims, but said, I respect the decision that he made. Please don't look into my history, though, because that would be equally as tragic. In a tense exchange with CNN reporter Caitlin Collins about how he could praise Cuomo's job performance when he's accused of sexually harassing, Biden said he was referring to Cuomo's work as governor outside of his personal behaviors, but that's also in the entire specter of him being the governor, so that's all right. That's probably a lot for that old fucking decrepit mind to really process, so that's all right. Biden last week called on Cuomo to resign, not really, following the release of the devastating report, yeah, where 11 women vaguely accused him of sexual harassment. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki on Tuesday praised the courageous women whose complaints forced Cuomo's resignation. Whatever. Like Cuomo, Biden faces allegations of making women feel uncomfortable with unwanted touching. I'm glad somebody else is picking up on this. Biden allegedly skinny dipped while vice president in front of Secret Service agents, and a former Biden Senate aide, Tara Reade, alleges, oh, here we go, a 1993 sexual assault, which has actually been documented, and those records are being locked up and held in, was that the University of Delaware? It's weird, right? Public officials, all of those records, yeah, they're supposed to be easily accessible. Unless, of course, you're a Democrat and you have something funny in your fucking history. All in due time. All in due time. But Psaki last week said the claims against Biden had been heavily litigated already. Really? Drawing pushback from Reade, who said her claims were never litigated. Yeah, exactly. And they never will be, at least while he's alive. But yeah, what spurned this turn of events? Why is Cuomo now leaving in 14 days, apparently? I don't know. I think there's still some wiggle room in there, and they're really trying to figure some stuff out. Seeing, I think, another reason why this 2 weeks is there, Cuomo's just making sure that all of the I's get dotted and the T's get crossed on his way out. So just in case he needs to burn everything down, he still has that little bit of leeway. So that's why I think all of these other tertiary investigations, they're going to be disappearing as if they have connections to the Clinton family. But what is some stuff that we can point at and see as to why Cuomo is leaving? Well, his top aide kind of ditched him. The dragon lady in this entire situation, the lady who recruited everybody that he allegedly sexually harassed, sexually assaulted, who fucking knows what we're going to end up calling it at the end of the day. Whole bunch of hullabaloo, if you ask me. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo's top aide resigned Sunday after an investigation overseen by the state's attorney general concluded he sexually harassed 11 women. Melissa Derosa, who has been one of Cuomo's most fierce defenders and strategists, said in a statement sent to multiple news organizations that serving the people of New York has been the greatest honor of my life. But she added, personally, in the past 2 years have been emotionally and mentally trying. Oh, you're getting older and he didn't want to pinch your ass anymore? That sucks. She didn't give a more specific reason for her resignation. I am forever grateful for the opportunity to have worked with such talented and committed colleagues on behalf of our state. Derosa's departure comes as Cuomo has dug in for his fight for his political life despite the threat of criminal investigations and widespread calls for his impeachment. Don't worry, this was a couple of days ago, and obviously she meant every word that she wrote in that resignation. That's why she was spotted boarding a helicopter with Cuomo after his resignation. Hers was effective immediately, so I don't know. Maybe Cuomo's got one of those ragu cans between his legs, and she just can't quite get enough. I'm not entirely sure. If you're resigning, if you think that the past 2 years have been too much, just wait for the next couple of weeks, because it'll either get really hot or people are going to be questioning your motives. It's going to get hot for you or it's going to get hot for him. So, or maybe she just really likes to fly in helicopters. I mean, who wouldn't? They're pretty cool. Governor Andrew Cuomo's enabler-in-chief, Melissa Derosa, was spotted by his side Tuesday as he left his Manhattan office after announcing his resignation. Derosa, who resigned from her role as secretary to the governor on Sunday, was spotted walking with Cuomo, his daughter Michaela Kennedy Cuomo, and his office director Stephanie Benton as they prepared to board a helicopter outside the city, dressed in a navy blue polka dot dress, sunglasses, and her signature Gucci bag. Okay, why do these people... Okay, and why do journalists have to point out if some unelected bureaucrat, even if it was an elected person, they have a signature look? That makes me physically ill on levels that it's hard to describe. Just giving them undue praise and putting them on such a pedestal where they're on par with people who do something of actual talent and note, instead of just notarizing different measurements for different interns that are coming through the governor's mansion. It's the first time Derosa has been seen publicly since saying she was stepping down from the state's highest ranking appointed position. Let's not pretend like this was months ago, okay? It was a couple days ago, so let's fucking cool it a bit. A Cuomo loyalist, 38, didn't note in her resignation statement when her last day was, but the New York Times reported it's timed with Cuomo's own resignation will take effect in 14 days. I'm sure they're going to go find a nice little house out there in the countryside where they'll be able to still influence major policy decisions, or perhaps they're going to go scout out a place down there in Atlanta so Andrew can join Cuomo or his brother Chris, and they can have just little Cuomo brothers in the evening. That should do gangbusters for CNN. It's not like they're terribly consistent with enforcing their own harassment policies. Nice use of masks as well. But anyways, yeah, oh no, the outpouring of support has been tremendous so far for Andrew Cuomo. It's just, really does bring a tear to your eye, I guess. Maybe many more tears if he's still in the vicinity and he's grabbing faces, but according to Alec Baldwin, one of the worst afflicted people with TDS, Andrew Cuomo's resignation is a tragic day. Oh, I guess we know who wrote all of the little notes for Joe Biden as well. Governor Cuomo may not have many allies left in New York politics, but he's got a friend in Hollywood. I'm sure he has many friends in Hollywood who have an equal amount of skeletons in their own closet. Because I still remember all of those spicy phone messages that Alec Baldwin left for Kim Basinger and his daughter. That was a fun time about a decade and a half ago. If you guys want to have a little laugh at old Alec's expense, just go ahead and dig those up. They're still on YouTube, I'd imagine. Called his daughter a fat little pig, but another story for another time, of course. Alec Baldwin tweeted his support for Cuomo, 63, just hours after he announced his that he was resigning as governor of New York in 14 days. The actor, also 63, wrote, "Regardless of what you think of Cuomo, this is a tragic day. Why? Party politics in this country. Oh my God. Oh, zero self-awareness. Zero self-awareness. Party politics in this country draws ambitious but ultimately isolated, even socially maladjusted men and women who, given the current cancel culture, will likely have their shortcomings exposed and magnified." You know what that reads as? Please don't look into my history as well. There are many, many, many skeletons there, and please just spare me the axe at least at this time. What a fucking snake. Still gave a great performance in Glengarry Glen Ross, but what a fucking psychopath. For his part, Baldwin admitted to bullying women in 2017 when he wanted to do better in his actions moving forward. "I certainly have treated women in a very sexist way," he said at the Poly Center event. It was held in his honor. "I've bullied women. I've overlooked women. I've underestimated women, not as a rule from time to time, and I don't give a single fuck." That is clearly just trying to give just a little bit of a passing nod to an understanding that, yes, I need to do better. But this is what you get from this side of the aisle, okay? They don't need to be ideologically consistent. They only need to be consistent in their scorn for one side, but then, you know what, not hold your own side accountable. Not really want to braze up anybody who has done anything scorn-worthy normally for your side. Like I've said, I've looked through the allegations. I think that they're wafer thin, and if Cuomo was going to be going down for something, it should be those deaths in those nursing homes, but we're never going to get an answer to that, and that's all going to be going away. That's why he's walking away, okay? The evidence was mounting. Somebody had to take a fall for this, and then at the end of the day, they can still continue to use the entire narrative that, yeah, guess what? Oh, Me Too is a very powerful thing, okay? It was just somebody else that they could throw onto the fire right now to make sure that that fire continues to burn hot. And then if need be, hey, maybe they can drag up the evidence a couple years from now and realize that, oh, you know what? All of the Me Too stuff, it's really just kind of based on just accusations and unproven claims, because you guys remember what Andrew Cuomo got taken down for? Like, inappropriate timed hugs? That seems a little bit weird. I already see what they're doing, okay? They're setting themselves up to use this once again, over and over and over again, to use it as a political weapon, where I got to give him credit, at least for a little while. He wasn't going to be backing down to that stuff, and I was behind him on that, but hey, since he's resigned to his resignation, I don't really care now. Just go away. Just go away. I hope that those investigations still do follow you, because there should be justice for those families who had lost loved ones due to the fact that your policies there ended up killing their grandmother, killing their grandfather, killing literally everybody a part of that, 16,000 person death toll. If it's not higher than that, we'll never really know. But we'll see what happens. Maybe in 2 weeks' time, there's going to be an emotional goodbye, and everybody will be down there, and they'll just be singing fucking Frank Sinatra tunes as he rides off into the sunset. So whatever, I'd imagine we'll probably revisit it at that time. But until then, I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.